Okay, so I'll call the meeting to order, and roll call is Kevin.
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
I'm here. Margaret is not. Kelsey is not. Anna.
Yeah.
Terry.
Here.
Emily's not here, and Stacy is not here. And Todd is here remotely. And I want to welcome Eleanor, who's our junior board member. Welcome. And then Blake, I guess is not here. So as part of, hey, how are you?
Tired. You missed, we had baby time last
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you missed the baby.
So Emily
Oh,
is
you can still see the baby is omnipresent.
Oh,
and then as part of welcoming Eleanor as our junior board member, can we all just go around and introduce ourselves, say who you are, how long you've been on the board, what your interests on the board are, and then we'll ask you to introduce yourself. Let's start, Terry.
I'm Terry Tim. I live on Woodhaven. I've been on this board since its beginning. And I work particularly around police engagement.
Okay, I'm Tim Clockerty, as you know me. We're good family friends.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been on the board for, this is my second year, and been working with mediations and also helping with the Community Service Award.
I'm Kevin Brand. I've been on the board for, I guess, a year now. Yeah. And I'm on the DI committee, and I'm gonna be doing mediations soon.
Oh, good.
So I'm Noah Evans. I chair the board. As part of that, I work on a number of different things. I'm most interested in our DEI
I'm Ann Swager Wilson. I'm the commissioner from Ward 3, and I have been on this board the entire time I've been on the commission. I'm in my third year.
I'm Julia Aquino. I am a staff liaison. I'm the HR manager. I've worked for the municipality for almost 2 years now, and you'll meet the other staff liaison at the next meeting. Laura Pasolini is our public information officer.
She's getting remarried by Elvis Presley right now. Just had to bring that up. It's so hilarious.
Welcome, Eleanor. My name is Anna Roman. I'm vice chair of the committee, and I've been on it for 2 years, about the same time as Tim and Kevin. And I, last year, pulled together the Residence Academy, and I've been working with Kelsey on the MLK Day and Tim on the Community Service Awards.
Emily, can you go next?
Yeah, hi, I'm Emily West. I live on Marlin Drive, which is Ward 1. I've been on the board since last year, and I was helping before I had a baby in December with the Welcoming America, although, so becoming a certified welcoming municipality has sort of gone astray, but not, I think, to anybody on this community's board fault. Yeah.
Great. Stacy?
Hey, I'm Stacy Ryback. This is my second meeting. And I apologize I can't be there. I had a previous engagement, which now has turned into a Shiva for my friend's parents. So I'm about to get picked up. I'm going to have the headphones in and listen while she drives me to Shady Side. So I apologize that I can't be there in person.
Todd?
Hi, I'm Todd Hoffman. I'm a non-voting member because I'm on the school board.
Okay, thank you everyone. My name is Eleanor Schulte Albert and I'm a senior at Mount Lebanon High School. I live on 734 Pinnock Road, and I decided to take this opportunity because I want to major in political science in college.
Welcome. And just feel free to jump in on a conversation, so, yeah.
If you go to Pitt, I might be your professor, as I am a professor in the political science department.
And a darn good one at that.
More importantly, Emily, would you advise she takes your class or doesn't take your class?
Depends.
No help there.
So meeting minutes, the meeting minutes were circulated. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Kevin makes a motion, second.
I'll second it.
Seconds. Any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great, thank you. Citizens' comments, was there what? No, there wasn't. Someone.
No, I don't think so.
Is anybody online?
So no citizens' comments. So, so thank you all for continuing your work. I actually watched the video of the last meeting. It's pretty exciting to watch these meetings.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not you, people.
And so thank you for your continued work. We've had progress in a number of our areas, and that work on that's exciting. I'm going to invite Terry to share some of his conversation with Ann about ICE in Mount Lebanon, cooperation with the police when we get to police engagement. So that's something I've gotten questions in the community about, and I know there's been a good amount of conversation on social media about how Mount Lebanon is relating to immigration in this time. So I think it's an important topic for us to be aware of. And then the other things will come report later. So.
Okay, so I have a whole new thing to throw in the mix. I'll be spending 4 hours tomorrow, right here in, I think, this room. I never can keep track. Interviewing people to overhaul our zoning and SALDO ordinances. So zoning is one of those complex subjects that has everything to do with equity, and it brings up all sorts of feelings in people about their traditional community and what they think their community should be or what it might not be, et cetera, et cetera. So I think as it progresses, I would be interested in having you all attend some of the public sessions so that you can put in your thoughts and relate to the people that we choose. I don't know who we'll choose, but because it's really very important. It's very much how communities are shaped. It's by zoning. Now, having said that, we're built out for the most part. There's not a whole lot that can change, but there still are some fairly important sites, like the South Garage, if you haven't heard, has to come down in the next few years, so it doesn't come out on its own. Okay, I was kidding. It doesn't come out on its own, but it will have to come down. So, what do we do to replace it? What kind of replacement are we looking for that garage? Is it gonna be just another garage, or do we wanna see if we can integrate housing into it or some other use into it, maybe a community use? I don't have any answers. I'm just saying those are subjects, teen center, things that really we need to be talking about as a community.
And is the bank property, the Citizen, is that part of the garage or?
At this point, the bank is not part of the garage. So, anyway, I will keep you updated on it as we go, but nothing has happened yet. I just wanted to put it on everybody's radar that it's coming down the pike.
I think you answered this in a different meeting, but I forgot the answer. Do we have an Airbnb regulation or there isn't?
We do not have an Airbnb regulation, but that would be something that would be considered under zoning. And that has pluses and minuses, just like everything, I mean. I used to, when I was a kid, be sure that there was a right and there was a wrong. And then I found out about all that gray stuff in the middle. And my favorite saying to my children is, you know, there's no perfect system, so let's just try to work for the best way we can do things. And Airbnbs, some people love them, some people hate them, so that I'm sure will be a point of contention.
Well, there's lots of equity issues and diversity
They're
issues
very many.
in zoning, so I think it's something for us to
Right.
be paying attention to. And it's subtle shifts can make a big difference.
Yes, they really can. Now, one of the biggest things right now that really hurts us in terms of more affordable housing, so to speak, or housing that can appeal to a lower income level, is the lack of public transit. That's a gigantic problem. Because people need to be either near their place of work or be able to get to it to be able to work. Cars are expensive, which I'm sure you all know, because you all have them.
So you must mean buses, I guess, because we
Yeah.
have T stops, so
Right,
buses.
buses. Well, and the T is apparently cutting service. I'm not sure if, I think it's all being cut in about half is what I've been told, but I'm
Yeah, I
passing
think
on
they had made a
rumors.
final decision yet.
I thought it was the
Realize
silver
that.
line.
Silver
They're
line.
eliminating the silver line.
I could be right.
Well,
You
there-
may very
no,
well.
I-
There are actually a significant number of transit cuts that will take place in February if the funding does not pass from the state Senate. Problem is the state Senate refuses to fund transportation.
That's right. They're asking that, the current bill is that they would use their money for capital expenses, which of course is for improvements to fund the operations.
Yeah, last I heard, they were gonna cut the silver line and reduce service on our line, the red line, but I don't know if that's final yet. I think they're still trying to.
I'm just saying zoning is part of an overall thing, so it's not as simple as, oh, I'm gonna put affordable housing right here. If I don't have anything for people to get to amenity-wise or transit-wise or affordability-wise, I haven't done anything. So you need to think of all of this in a very holistic way. And if you want to talk about traffic engineering, I could do that next. I think it Terry rolls his eyes, ooh. Yep, that's it.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
As an update, so I have provided in-person anti-harassment and non-discrimination training to about 45 of our full-time supervisors, and I have 3 sessions scheduled for September and October for about another total of 60-some employees, including non-supervisors and some what we call part-time benefited employees. They're part-time employees, but they're kind of like on the higher skill level and hours level. And then there'll be some more groups towards the end of the year and in January so that I'll eventually reach everybody. So it's hard because we have employees in different buildings and we have, police that work 3 different
Right,
shifts.
shifts.
And so
That's right.
logistically, it takes a while to get
And through them all.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So generally, what's the content of the training?
Well, the first section is really on workplace civility, because the EEOC years ago, maybe might be about 10 years now, they had done a study looking at the question of basically why haven't the number of sexual harassment, I know that's just one type of harassment, but why haven't they gone down despite the fact that all employers at this point pretty much know they need to provide training, and most of them do, but the number of claims don't actually go down. And so one of the EEOC's recommendations that came out of that study was to focus not just on training about what's illegal, but what generally creates a civil professional workplace, and not just on what employees shouldn't do, but what they should do. So that's why I actually start with the section on workplace civility, and then I go into what is actual unlawful harassment, hostile work environment, what are protected characteristics, and then the policies on reporting and encouraging people to report, and not just if they perceive themselves to be a target, but even if they're just a witness, because employees don't have to tolerate watching
Other
something.
people be abused.
Right. So, yeah. And I like doing it in person because it, well, one, people get to see me face to face, which is helpful because I'm in one building and I at this point have met most of our full-time employees, but, I don't see them on a daily
Yeah.
basis. It gives them an opportunity to ask questions, and sometimes employees do have questions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how representative, how many young people we have in the workforce here, but I'm just curious if do you see a shift in attitudes with some of the stuff we've seen out there with maybe, male empowerment and stuff like that? Or is that not something you're seeing?
I mean, I think younger people do view things differently, but I hate to generalize, and I also hate to presume that I know, because.
Just wondering from the class if you got comments or questions or stuff that would lead you to think that there's been a change over the past X years.
No, I don't get a sense of that from comments or questions I might get in the training, but my sense just from, talking with employees or hearing complaints from employees that I do think younger people, they have a different perspective on things, for sure.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
You see it?
I recently was asked by the History Center to come and present with two other women who had been commissioners of Mount Lebanon. And the two other women talked about the sort of prejudice, mansplaining, kind of activities that they had had with other commissioners. And of course, then they turned to me and I honestly answered and said, nope, not at all, because I haven't. I just have not. I found myself refreshingly very much treated as an equal, and I just haven't had any problem with it at all. Now my children would say that's because no one would ever do that to you, mother, but that's their perspective.
I think some younger employees would naturally know that they should report. I think they're less concerned about how people would react to them complaining. They know they should report things. I think even before they come into the training, they understand that. Where I think if you go back 10 years ago, nobody, a lot of things, nobody would have said a word.
Right, I think you're right.
Good question. Okay, police committee reports, so talk.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. You kind of teed up what I wanted to talk about. Obviously, we've seen in our region a lot of ICE activity in different municipalities, and a number of people in the community have approached me with questions. As Noah mentioned, there's been posts on social media. What are our policies? What kind of coordination might we have with federal agents? So I've been exploring that over the last 6 weeks or so, with some emails and conversation with Ann. She's been great. We've had multiple email exchanges and an hour-long conversation over coffee. So we've been exploring a lot of different things. A couple things that I just bring to your attention if you're not aware of. Our municipality does have a policy. It's policy 414, and it was created in September of 2021 and then updated and revised in January of 2023. So we do have a policy that's been vetted and
it's online.
and it's online, right? It was part of the DEI work that we did back in the day, was to get all of our the transparency. So all of our policies are online. So if people ask you, you can point them to the website and they can look at this. The commissioners have had a lot of conversation about this, executive session, conversations with the solicitor, and I think, and Ann, you can just correct me, but like we have reviewed this policy and have not made any changes to it recently. So that's part of the reality. I found some interesting things in the policy. There are some words that words like generally. What does that mean, generally? there's a statement in the policy that the department may provide available support services such as traffic control or peacekeeping efforts. Okay, that's open to interpretation. So questions like, how are we making decisions if requests come from ICE to our municipality? What's the vetting process? All those kinds of things. I have a lot of questions about that. Local police can't stop ICE operations, but they can serve as observers. You may have heard of something called 287 agreements. Those are agreements that municipalities can enter into with federal immigration agencies that authorize them to basically act on behalf of ICE. We have not entered into that kind of relationship. And my understanding, and again, Ann, you can comment on that, that any kinds of decisions like that would obviously come through the commissioners.
Correct.
And they've been pretty on top of things. So some of my questions just have to do with, again, implementation of the policy, vetting, what does process look like? Part of the policy talks about training that, as you've talked about the training that you do, what kind of training do the members of our police department receive about what they are required, what they are permitted to do, decision-making, that type of thing. So a couple of things that I just noted. Would we want to have more conversation with Chief Haberman about his perspective on these policies and what it looks like to implement those? I have gone through some rapid response training with Casa San Jose. Many of you are familiar with their work. I'm a part of a rapid response team. They're doing a lot to educate community groups, municipalities, individuals. Might it make sense for us to have some conversation with them about what's happening in this space? I'm curious, Todd, from where you sit from the school board, how much conversation the school board has had around this issue, particularly thinking about children, families, what kind of education, what are we doing to, obviously we can't ensure safety, we know that that's not a reality, but in terms of giving confidence to our families and children that we're doing what we can to make sure that they are as safe as they possibly could be. Again, Casa San Jose has done some training with school districts as well. So that's kind of where some of the things that I've been reflecting on and questions, yeah.
So I'm concerned about the event at the library, what are we prepared if I shows up at the library event that Kevin is representing this committee, what are we gonna do? And so having a conversation with Jason sooner versus later, or training, if it's
I would guess the library, I would hope the library on top of that, but my wife's on the library board, so I can ask her that question.
Yeah, I'm just curious, because that event is the 18th.
19th is ours, but they're having other things during that week too.
Right,
that are
so
more likely to trigger.
if,
Well, I think, one of the other overarching points for me is like, what are we communicating? What have we communicated to our community, larger community about this issue? And what are we particularly communicating to vulnerable people about giving it some level of confidence or trust that here's our policies, here's our practices, again, to the best of our ability, this is what we're doing as a municipality. Can't guarantee things, but
because if you think ICE is gonna show up at the library event, why would you go?
exactly.
Sure.
Yes.
So my daughter lives in DC, in Petworth, and she has experienced things that have not hit the news here. Daycare centers shutting down because all of the help has been arrested and parents coming home, and it's pretty brutal.
This is what I was gonna say this during my time, but I think it fits in right now, is that there's 2 events in that welcome week that are specific to this, but one of them on the 16th, there's a panel discussion, Casa San Jose, Literacy Pittsburgh, and ICAC, I wrote that down, but I'm not sure who they are all gonna be on this panel. They're gonna specifically talk about your rights and all that stuff. That one would be the one I think would be more worrisome than the concert on, the Global Beats is like a upbeat concert thing, not that they both couldn't be, but yeah. So I think that is a really good question. Has the library thought about that? I bet you they have. The person who runs the
I'm sure
library
they
is pretty
have,
good.
I just
Very good.
Yeah,
like to dot i's and cross t's, I guess.
yeah, no, that's
Are we
great.
ready?
I'll ask that
To Robin.
through to Robin,
And-
yeah.
So one of your questions, Terry, was about has the school board had conversations,
Right.
Todd? I don't know if that's something you can reflect on.
So first, the school district does not maintain any kind of data around anyone's citizen status or immigration status. So there's no relevant data that could be pulled if there was such a request like that. If there was an agent that appears, all schools have been directed to contact the superintendent's office, and the superintendent would contact our solicitor to manage it. So no one's just entering the buildings. No one has permission to enter the buildings. That's the direct line of communication that's been built and communicated to everyone in all buildings.
Thank you. My church has a nursery school. We were given
Right.
directives by our diocesan chancellor, which had even templates of these are different types of warrants and how
Right.
you need to respond to
Yeah,
different warrants.
yeah.
So there's education that I think all institutions
Right.
need right now about what they have to respond to and what they're being requested to respond to. So,
Right.
yeah.
And you can call the Mount Lebanon Police, which is what my advice would be,
Mhm.
to have them look at the warrant.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's something you have to do as opposed to being requested to do, because they're 2 different
Yeah, very different.
types,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
And one point in the email exchange you two had that I thought was really important, that I'd never thought of, is that, and you raised that there are moments that it may be helpful to have Mount Lebanon Police involved because they're observers, they're highly trained people in de-escalation. There's sort of other things that are happening around ICE activity
Right.
where
Yeah.
we may want our police there.
Yeah.
So,
That's actually what I came to. It took me a while. I mean, I spent a lot of time thinking about it and talked about this with Terry. And in the end, I felt that if I were in the situation, I would call the police. I would like our police there because I'm not saying everybody's perfect and that no one can make a mistake, but I am saying they're well trained. They're all trained in critical response. And I think that they're pretty good at de-escalating, and I don't want to see anybody else get hurt either. I don't want a child or something else that is an unintended consequence of ICE activity.
And you see like on videos and
Yeah.
people, ICE, like you try to film it, then ICE tries to take you down.
But you
If the
can,
polies were there, that probably would help.
It would
they'd
help
be like,
because
they
you
know
are
they can't-
allowed-
They're not doing anything.
on
They
public
cannot do
property,
that,
you
yeah.
are allowed to use your phone to film anything you want, as long as you're on public property. But you can, that's the law, that's, yes. Yeah, so, I don't know, I hope we don't ever have to face it, but I think I'm being Pollyanna when I say that.
Yeah, we have no idea to predict, but we do know the activity is going to increase, just based on budget and,
Yeah, and numbers,
Numbers, yeah.
That's astonishing.
yeah.
The quotas and all this kind of
So that's,
nonsense.
and again, too, even Todd, from the school perspective, children and families walking to and from school. Yeah, if an ICE raid happened, that would be traumatizing to that, everyone.
All the children,
that
that's right.
witnesses that.
All the children.
And just so many potential implications that impact the well-being of our community as a whole, and then particularly some of the populations that are particularly vulnerable.
I just think one point to bring out to you is that we do give our police discretion, and we do it because we feel that they're well-trained and they're in situations where discretion is necessary. We do not give our building inspectors discretion. The code is the code. But I mean, if you think about those distinctions, it helped me to start thinking about the way it all worked. And that's, what we have. They do have discretion.
So Terry made some other suggestions about how to keep the conversation going. I think one advice in our role of advice to the commission, I'd say now, is there's a lot of concern in the community.
Yeah.
So how you communicate that you all are having substantive conversations, which I was glad to hear, that you've dedicated a lot of time on it, and this is something that the commission's attentive, but is this, a conversation we can be involved in too? Would we like to invite Chief Haberman to discuss this more with us?
I don't know what I'd ask him, but.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to tell you his operating procedures because he's a policeman, and any more than my husband will tell you his military operations, because he's a soldier. But, you can always ask him, but somebody who might be even better is Keith McGill. I mean, in the end, what the commission discussed was having, any time that we were asked to cooperate with ICE, was that it would go up to Keith. Because Keith has a number of resources and he's been around a lot longer than Jason, to be really frank. I mean, he's like me, he's old. He's had many years of experience, but that's, in this kind of situation, counts and helps. So Keith might be your better option. It's up to you all, you're the committee, but just throwing that out.
That's a good suggestion, Ann. We get maybe some different information from Keith.
Yeah.
I think too, I'd love to have some more conversation with Laura too, just about what are we communicating as a municipality? Just because we have questions, and there's a lack of clarity of what exactly, just, whether it's a social media post saying, here's the policy, go look at it online.
Right, sure.
An article in Mount Lebanon Magazine talking about the realities that we may face and trying to engender confidence at appropriate levels.
I feel like I'd be interested to get her opinion. She's not here, so we can't get it, but I also worry about it being a double-edged sword where you want to inflame people in some ways.
Yes,
You want to inform the community, but you don't want to inflame people with our defiance either.
Right,
So,
right. You don't want to make us a target.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Well, that was just one of my questions, what if, as a municipality, we just said, no, we're not gonna cooperate with you, ICE? Is there, what's the fallout to that? Are there implications and repercussions?
Todd has his hand raised.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
All right, there we go. Anne, potentially a question for you. One of the many concerning things is that there are agents with face coverings without clear markings of who they are. Is there anything from a municipality standpoint that can be done to
Unmask them.
Yeah.
So I checked on that because I find that horrifying. And no is the simple answer. We can't do anything about that. The only people that our solicitor feels could do that and could possibly be successful would be the state. But we don't have the jurisdiction to be able to tell them that they have to be unmasked. So there's your simple but terrible answer. Our policemen are unmasked and they will show identification. I'm just putting that out there because that's best practices.
Yeah. Okay, what do you want to do as a committee? Go ahead, Emily.
Can I just make a point that I make whenever anybody brings this up to me in any context? And I've waited, I hope, long enough to make it clear that I'm not making this point to, redirect this conversation. I think I've enjoyed this conversation and listening. I'll just say I'm like proud to be a community member in a community where people have answers like Anne just had ready to go. You looked into it, like that's fantastic. And I just want to say my concern is that I know that this is a dictatorial like distraction technique. And so I think, I choose to, so that I can sleep at night, believe that local communities like ours, there's more of them across the country. And so I think what we also have to do is yes, take the bait and focus on doing the right thing and questioning all the things that we've been talking about. But I think we also have to think about elections. And it's never too soon to be thinking about elections. And so using the framework that we're using to question and push and think about this question, I think can be really useful if you preemptively use that same framework to think about elections.
The Democratic Committee, I just want to bring this up, not this is for politics, but next Wednesday night, Casa San Jose is coming to do training at that meeting. It starts at 7 in Commission Chambers, and I'm quite sure they would welcome anyone who came through the door who wanted the training. So just to let you know, I know Terry's been through the training, but I'm planning to attend that, and any of the rest of you are certainly welcome. I'll vouch for you.
I mean, it's how they're inviting people is word of mouth for that
Yes,
reason, so.
that's right, yeah.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead, no, I can check with Keith about having him come talk to the
Yeah.
committee.
I think that would be good. I think it's also good to have, to be signaling that this is an ongoing conversation within this municipality and that political leadership
Yes.
is not asleep at the switch on it, keeping pressure on our, municipal police department, municipal staff.
Sure.
I think it's important too, so.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Terry.
Other conversations at this moment? And thank you for your honesty and openness and sharing your conversations with us. Okay, mediations, did Margaret drop off?
She was
I don't
never on.
believe
not.
she was
No.
ever on.
She's not, so. You have your training, November. Okay, Residence Academy, any new updates?
I am 80% done with scheduling for next year.
Wow, good for you.
Oh, a little obsessive compulsive, but yes, it will be done within the next 10 days, so.
Great,
Fabulous.
Yeah, it'll be ready. We're
Great.
ready. We're in good shape.
great, thank you. Community Service Award, we've got a few months before. Before that one
Yes.
comes up. And then, do you want to talk about?
Welcome week. So there's 2 events at the library that I think are relevant for us. The first is on the Tuesday, the 16th at 7 o'clock. And that's the panel discussion. Basically, I can't remember exactly the title, but it has to do with what are your rights, know your rights.
Yeah.
I unfortunately can't go that day, but it'd be good to have somebody go if anybody can go.
What time is it, Kevin, on the 16th?
7 o'clock.
I have a library board meeting that night.
At night?
Yeah.
Yes.
7 at night? Yeah, I can go to that.
Okay, oh, that'd be awesome. Then I'll try and liaise with you before the Friday sessions to see what you learned.
Yeah, Dan will do the translation that you sent.
Oh, good, thanks. And then the Global Beats is like it's kind of a family event concert thing. That's where we're gonna have a table. I'll have the board up and ask them the question about like I just not exactly how I phrased it, but I said it to Emily, they said like, what can Mount Lebanon do to be more welcoming?
Yeah, sure.
And we'll take comments, questions. And then we talked about having a little handout there about knowing your rights. I sent one around, I looked at a lot of them on the internet. I thought that was the best one then there was some subsequent comment from Margaret about, well, can we get something from Casa San Jose or the
Yeah.
Jewish immigration people?
Group,
I forget their
yeah.
name. Jewish immigration people said, thank you, but talk to Casa San Jose. So I had reached out to them before, but they never closed the loop with me, so I got back to them again. And found out the person specifically to talk to, so hopefully I'll get something back from them.
Oh,
If they
good,
have
yeah.
something, we'll find out. But I really thought the other thing we had was really good. And from a reputable place, Clinic it's called, they've been around for a long time, I think it's very reputable. So I don't know if Laura's waiting to get that reviewed by solicitor till I find out about Casa San Jose. Do you know how long it'll take the solicitor to review that document?
Oh, I don't think it should take long.
Okay, so
But
maybe
I'll check and
try
see where it is.
I'll
find out.
I'll try and harass Casa San Jose guy like daily till I hear something back from them one way or the other if they have something.
Okay,
Because for consistency, they may even give that out at
right,
the Tuesday
sure.
meeting, so that I have, just, I'm gonna have it on the table if anybody
Yeah.
wants to take it.
Yeah, nice.
English and Spanish, and that made me think, from our previous conversation, whether we get that from them or from Clinic, whenever the solicitor approves that document, maybe that'd be a good thing to put on our Mount Lebanon website somewhere. That says, know your rights.
After we vetted it, that's a really good use to make it publicly available.
Yeah, I mean, the one I sent around is like 6 pages. What to do in a car, what to do at work, what to do at home. There's some really good information in there.
Oh,
So
interesting.
if they
Very
knock on your door,
Yeah.
don't let them in.
Oh, yeah.
If they have a certain kind of warrant, like you
That's
said,
right,
they
certain
have
kind of
this kind of warrant.
You can call them out, let them
Yeah.
police, and they'll look at it.
Yeah, so, yeah, I
Legitimate.
thought it was a really, really good document, I mean, for anybody to know.
Yeah.
So that's that.
And it might be helpful to have some of those posted in some of the businesses up and down the street.
Oh,
Like, if it was sitting like in the coffee shop on the bulletin board, like just
Yeah.
there, everywhere.
Yeah, we can put one up and there's a QR code, you can
Right.
go right to that site. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know how we make that happen. If we could talk to the Mount Lebanon Partnership about that, or we should just
I would.
Walk up and down the street.
walk up and down the
Yeah,
street.
walk up and down the street, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
walk
that
up and
people
down the
would
street. I'm
say.
happy to walk up and down
Yeah.
Beverly and Washington and
Yeah.
see if anyone wants to do it. If we have to make copies,
We'll bring it by.
excellent, so that's that. If everybody wants to come on this 19th, the Global Beats thing is 6:30 to 8:30 at the library. I'll be sitting at the table, you can join me if you'd like.
Does anyone know that they're going that wants to say right now
I'm gonna go. And Kevin, let me know if there's anything I can bring or help set up or do it.
Yeah, I was
ahead of
thinking I
time.
should probably bring some snacks for our table or something. I don't know if we have any Mount Lebanon swag to give out.
Not really.
Go buy some
Yeah.
Takis.
I'll buy some kind of candy for the table.
Yep.
Something sitting out there,
Tootsie Rolls.
repos or something.
Okay, so MLK Day, so
It's
really,
at the high
really,
school?
really good
Yeah.
news. And thank you to Superintendent Dr. Freeze and to Todd for queuing this up, the high school will be
Yeah.
hosting that, so.
That is great news.
Which is great, both because of the central location, the facilities, but also the sign of collaboration on MLK Day with the school district.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Sharpney. And I got in touch with Asbury Heights and we're gonna host an event there too.
Oh, good.
They're having bingo that day, and so we will have families that will come and be the callers, and their kids can sit with the senior citizens and help them play bingo.
Give them daubers.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a dauber was till I moved to Pittsburgh. I'd never heard of that.
Hey,
Those kids start
there's
on-
like certain daubers that are better than other daubers.
It is a cultural thing, and
It
it's
is.
so
It's like
funny.
The Pittsburgh cookie table.
That's right, another cultural thing, that's right.
Those kids started on gambling when they're young.
Okay, so any additional old business or new business? Okay, so please note the change in our pattern of meeting, we're meeting a week later than holidays, so we'll be
October.
October 8th.
So we'll go right from this meeting to the Democratic Committee meeting.
No, so I don't have to miss the meeting.
No, because it's at 6 and the other's at
7.
7.
Yeah.
I used to love that when we were that.
Yeah.
Because I could always go then, from one to the other.
Great, okay,
Move to adjourn.
I'm gonna adjourn the meeting then.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would be happy to do the ICE training, I just am leaving the country from the 10th to 20th,